Hey everyone, Henrichs of Valor. This rifle needs a sling on it, doesn't it? So I'm going to show you a way that is not only quiet, it has those silent sling keepers, if you will, and it's good for you if you don't want to put a quick detach on there or if you don't have any attachment points on your rifle. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so a lot of times people want to put a sling on their rifle, and that's good. Some people have quick detach or sling attachment points. So you'll get stuff like this. You know, you'll get a keeper, and then you can put it either here or you could put it over out here like this. But here's the problem. You know, sometimes those places are the only two spots on a rifle, and they'll get in the way of what you're doing. You know, a lot of times people come out here for a class and do some training modules. We shoot various positions because we don't shoot on the shooting bench, because I've never seen anybody drag a shooting bench to a gunfight. So we practice field positions here at the Ridge and create riflemen. I'm not going to do your little pronoun bull crap. That stuff didn't exist for the first 40 years of my life. Therefore, we're going to say rifleman because that's what it is. And speaking of riflemen, I do have American Rifleman book. If you haven't decided to check that out yet, it is available in the description box below. So all things aside, a lot of times this will get in the way of your technique, or this will get in the way of your technique. So what do? If you don't have a sling attachment point, I'm going to show you exactly how. So tools for the job of what you're going to need. You're going to need a quality sling, I like a 2-point bungee, and then you're going to need two 18-inch sections of 550 cord, just like that, or about 18. 17, 18 inches is going to be fine. So what they'll do is once you cut them, then you're going to have, because the reason it's called 550 cord is it'll hold 550 pounds. It's parachute rigging. So one thing I do just to make life easier is I'll cut both ends of that, and then I pull out this white filling. Just pull it out like that, because we don't really need to have that filling with us, and it'll make working with this material a lot better. So it'll pull straight out just like that. Make sure you do cut both ends. So what I do now is I'm going to take it. Now I know that when I shoot standing, kneeling, or prone, my hand always stays the same. The reason I have reference marks on my rifles, all of them, whether I'm shooting an M-lock reel like this or even those round handguards, I always have a reference mark that I can always touch my thumb to, and that way I'm keeping my position the same. So when I shoot standing, my hands are just like this. When I shoot kneeling, my hands are just like this. And when I shoot prone, my hands are just like this. So I don't want my sling in the way, and I also don't want my sling to come around and get in the way of my light or get in front of my muzzle. So what we want to do is we want to find where that is on the rifle, and a lot of times that's just going out, working positions, and figuring out where you need to go. So what I'll do here then, and hopefully we can get a close-up of this right here. What we can do is, what I do is I take the 550 cord and I loop it together just like this. Now I know that every single time that I shoot, I need to have my sling out of the way and also have it out of the way of my light. So what I'll do is I'll put it inside one of these slots. Now if you guys have those round handguards, this will also work as well. You guys see how I fold that together and then I put it inside there. Now you can use pliers or you can use anything else to pull it in there like this. I'm just going to use my knife for now. This knife will be in my everyday carry video that I'm going to do here in a bit for you guys later on this week. So what I'll do is I'll just pull this material out through there. Alright, now once I get that through, what I want to do here is I just want to fold it underneath itself and then create that loop just like you see right here. So what we'll do, guys, is we'll loop it around on itself just like this, and then we'll come around, and then what we'll do is we will go back through itself, and it should create a pretty good knot just like that. So I pull it tight, and then as you guys can see, it's just like that. Now what I want to do is show you guys on the other side, on the buttstock, what you can do as well. So I'm going to take that second 17, 18-inch piece of paracord, and then depending on what type of buttstock that you have, I run similar buttstocks on most of my rifles, but some of those I do have the standard M4 buttstock, so the same thing will apply. So what I'll do is I take this and run it through one of these slats where the sling would go. Now I don't like putting my sling directly on here because sometimes it'll get in the way of your shoulder. So what I do is I'll just pull it through just like that. We're going to do the exact same knot that we did on the forearm, and we're just going to pull it through itself just like this, and then we're going to come around and through itself. If you guys need to slow this down or pause it, you have the world at your disposal with that space bar or with any other button you choose. And I do pull that tight. Now, you want to have good tails on both of these sides, guys, because we don't want any slippage. I always pull it tight anyway, and then that should not move at all. And I do test it. So I will pull them and make sure that that knot doesn't slip. And if it does, then we can readjust it and make it tighter. And I'll show you another way that we can help this as well. Yep, that ain't moving. And once again, pull it tight, cinch it up on itself, and it shouldn't move at all. Now, what I like to do for an extra layer of security is I'll take my lighter and I'll burn these ends, and make sure you do this outside or in a well-ventilated area. I know some of you guys are like, man, I love the smell of burning nylon, right? Well, trust me, you want this in a well-ventilated area, otherwise you'll vote Democrat. So, what we'll do is we'll just post these up like this. I like to get a little flame. And then that will, and don't touch this either because it's like molten plastic, okay? And then what I do is I let that cool, and then I'll do the same thing on this side, burning the ends, just like this. Get a nice little molten globule, and that way it won't fray, and that way it won't mess up on me. So this should be cool to the touch right now, and it is. So what I like to do also is I'll take this lighter, and I get the knot, and then the leads into it as well, so that'll make an extra non-slip. Don't do it too long, you're gonna have to start this whole process over. You shouldn't see any splaying in there, so like maybe 1 to 2 second bursts, you know, just like sustained fire on a 240 Gulf. 5 to second, you know, 5 to 6 round burst, 5 to 6 round burst. You can do that without changing the barrel out. Don't forget your asbestos glove like my buddy Rody. All right, so what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that we get both of these ends, and we do that. Don't do it too long or you will have to start over. I just like to get that hardness and that so that it will be like plastic so that it won't slip on me, and that way life is good. And I keep doing this off and on for just about 30 seconds or so. You can even let that one cool and then come back here to this one and harden this knot up, and that way it won't slip on me at all. I've used slings like this and 550 cord on my buttstocks for decades. The first time I did this was in the jungle about 22, 23 years, yeah, 22 years ago. Jeez, it's longer than some of you guys may have even been alive. I'm that guy, I guess. Don't feel like it though. And the thing is, guys, is that we want to make sure we do harden that knot, and that we get so that it won't slip on us. Just a little bit like that. It shouldn't do long. Don't do it too long or you will have to start over. You have to use a new piece of 550 cord. And then one more time. Use a Bic. Don't use the butane lighters, you cigar smokers out there. I'm guilty. It will definitely fry this in a heartbeat. So use a standard Bic lighter. Some people like matches, but this is just a lot easier, okay? Okay, now that we've got that all set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure everything's good to go. It should be. I have no doubt whatsoever that it is, but I always want to check. So what I do is I run this sling just like you would through it's the exact same thing that is this metal. It's the exact same thing as on your quick detach. We're just using a piece of 550 cord. So what we'll do is we just run that through there like this, and then we run it through just like this. And so what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, I know I got some ladies watching the channel now, so that's good. You guys are like women empowering women. I like it. So what we're doing is doing the same thing back here, and I pull it in, and this is just an easy day at the office. And so folks, what we've just accomplished here in about 5 minutes, and I went intentionally slow for demonstration purposes. I always do a slow demo, combat speed demo, and a slow demo. So what we've got now is I've got a rifle. Man, they're like silent slinky. They don't make any noise when you move around. How'd that happen? And then I've got a rifle that's exactly where it needs to be, hands-free. It's not going to break. It is called 550 cord after all. And if you got a 550-pound rifle like a lot of you guys like to do, I just did a video on that, by the way, you may want to try a different sling attachment system, right? And so, or have a pneumatic robot carry stuff around. But this is what it looks like, finished product, nice and simple, nice and quiet for you guys out there like to be all super stealth, and you won't have any noise whatsoever. And guess what? It doesn't get in the way of my light, and it doesn't get in the way of my hand placement either. And that's just a little trick for you guys, and I hope you found the information valuable. And if you did, please remember, subscribe to the channel, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting the value out of it. I know I certainly get value out of teaching people. It is my profession after all, and it has been for a long time. And I want you guys to come on out and get some good classes with us. Our schedule is available. As Reid Henrichs of Valor reminding you, lessons that we learn, written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the ridge.